Maple was a good little girl who always cleaned her room and set the table. So for her birthday, her parents brought her home the cutest, most adorable puppy she had ever seen. It arrived in an ordinary cardboard box, and when Maple opened the top, a small black pug face peered up at her. "I want to eat you up," she cried. Maple outfitted the box with a blanket and kept it by her bed. She'd cuddle the puppy for hours at a time, its smushed face exhaling heaps of puppy breath. Her father had only one rule: never feed the pug after dark. He didn't say why, but he trusted Maple to obey. And because she was a good little girl, disciplined and thoughtful, she followed that rule for a whole week. One night, as she prepared for bed, the pug began mewing and cooing and squiggling about. Maple leaned over to find his wet, ridiculously big eyes staring back at her. "I can't feed you, it's too late," she whispered, but the pug cried and cried. Maple offered it some goldfish crackers, but it didn't want the crackers and refused the milk from her glass. So Maple gave the pug her pinky finger to suck on, because that's what little humans sometimes like. It worked, and soon the pug fell asleep. Withdrawing her hand, though, Maple was surprised to find her pinky missing. It wasn't painful, just gone. She considered waking her parents, but they'd be mad. And Maple was a good little girl, not the sort who deserved punishing. So she returned to bed, imagining it was a bad dream. In the morning, the pinky was missing. Luckily, it was early spring, which called for mittens. So off to school Maple went, hiding her missing finger. That night brought more cries, but Maple was ready with treats. Yet, the pug refused each one. So she did the only thing she knew to do, and slipped off her sock, offering up her pinky toe. The pug took the toe in its small mouth and sucked, and sure enough, when it was finished, Maple no longer had a pinky toe. Maple stuffed her mittens with toilet paper and used twigs and moss to hide her missing finger and toes. She hobbled to school on the balls of her feet and learned to write, holding the pencil in the fat of her palms. The more she fed the animal, the cuter it got. Its sad eyes, always wanting more. Maple noticed her mother, who never cared for the dog, was now spending time with the pug. Her father was acting strangely too, wearing sunglasses indoors and bumping into things. Lately, he seemed much shorter on one side. Maple saw little of her parents after that, but no matter. Come Easter, she was nothing more than a head on the bedroom floor, but not upset, for the pug was still with her, licking her silly, and she was still so in love, so in love.